Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Stamping with Sarah on Saturday. I think I had it Saturdays with Sarah. I don't remember what I had. I used something and I can't even remember. Can't even remember my own branding. My name is Sarah Simon. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Appleton, Wisconsin, and I'm so excited to be here with you today, especially after the week that I had. Oh my goodness. Good morning, Julie and Sarah and Becky and Mary and Karen Karst and Karen Wetstein and Linda. Thank you so much for joining me. And for anyone else who isn't able to comment on here, good morning, Denise. I appreciate you joining me this morning. Let me tell you, I had like a range of everything this week. So I was up late on Monday. It started to feel a little stuffy on Monday already. So I started to take some Zicam. And then on Monday, I had to stay up really late because I had to get ready for my card club, which starts on this Sunday. But I have some virtual people that I had to make sure I get it in the mail. Good morning, Betty. And so I stayed up really late and then I went to bed and I couldn't sleep because I was so stuffed up. I woke up Tuesday and I was just miserable, like miserable beyond miserable. Kept slamming the Zicam. My mom's like, go to bed early tonight. So I did. On Tuesday night, I went to bed early. I wanted to stay up and get the rest of my cards done for my card club, but I went to bed. I woke up the next morning and I'm like, oh my gosh, my head's not very stuffy at all. I feel 100% better. Sleep was it, along with the Zicam. Good morning, Nancy and Elsa. Thank you for joining me. Well, then Thursday, after I had lunch, I was like, oh, something I ate for lunch, and I just had a salad. And I'm like, something just didn't sit right. And I had a class to teach and they couldn't get a sub on the last minute. So I taught my class. I was just like, oh, thank God they had a work day on a project that they were working on because I could just kind of lay back a little bit. And then I got home that night and I slept on the couch for a little bit and I didn't have any supper because my stomach was just ugh. And I think it was about 9 o'clock, I threw up. And then I ended up again through the night. So I felt a little bit better by morning, but I hadn't slept much all night. So I was laying in bed debating whether I should call in sick for work or if I should just push myself to go. And someone who I was supposed to be in her classroom sent me a message and said, I'm out sick today. And I'm like, that's it. That's my sign. There's one less class that I was supposed to be in. So I called in sick yesterday. I brought Lila out. I fed her. I did all of that stuff. I crawled right back into bed. She came back into bed with me and I slept in bed until almost 10:30. And I laid around all day yesterday. And I feel by last night, I was eating sort of regular food, pretty bland, but it was just like a 24-hour bug that's been going around. I think we've had so many teachers out. We've had so many kids out. And I guess I finally got it. So, but it was a crazy week because I had a cold and I had the stomach flu, both in the same week, but both are healed and I'm here with you today and I'm so excited. So I have some product. Yes, both of the stamp sets that I'm using today are stamp sets that I haven't used yet. I'm going to be using a couple of Celebration products because there's only one more week left for Celebration. And so I wanted to get my favorites. I wanted to use some of my favorites. After Celebration, it's not that I don't use them for my personal use, but I don't like to use it for things that I do online because you can't order them, right? So good morning, Patty and Sandy and Mary and Amanda. You all jumped on. That's awesome. I have some happy mail to share with you. I received, look at this beautiful card using that Flight and Airy. And we're going to use a technique that's kind of like this, where you take a panel and you cut it into different parts and then you just kind of piece it together. And then you kind of hide the seam with this ribbon and that beautiful gem. This came to me from Karen Karst. And Karen, I just have to tell you that when I read your message that you had inside, it almost brought tears to my eyes. And I know you're on here this morning, and I don't know how much you would want me to share with other people, but Karen lost her husband in this past year, and stamping was kind of her therapy. And she said that she enjoyed getting ideas from me, and it gave her ideas to get started. And she shares a lot of her cards with the nursing home and things like that. So how sweet, Karen. And you had asked me about a tutorial. I actually have that, and I will get it off to you today. So I promise I have to find it. And once I find it, I will get that off to you. So thank you so much for this beautiful card. But more importantly, the beautiful message that was in it. Sometimes I sit here and I just talk and I stamp and I don't realize how much of an impact it can be making on someone. So thank you for sharing that with me. So, and then I have prizes to give away. Oh, good. We had other people jump on here. Shanna and Sandy and Dee. I think Mary. I said hi to Mary earlier. So sounds like what I had is part of the crud. I know, right, Sandy? I'm glad that it went away fast, though. I mean, I'm just really glad about that. So I am so far ahead right now because by the time I started to feel good yesterday, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go in my stamp room. I'm going to try to get my stuff done for today a little bit earlier. Look at this. I have my envelopes and everything all ready to go for my prizes. So, and receiving the cards we made last week. So we made this card. Our cards were pretty similar in that they kind of had designer paper on either side and then a different strip in the middle. And then we had this one that kind of just stands up like that. All right. And then as a little bonus, we had this little gum. And I took somebody's advice. Look I took the ribbon off the side. And what I did, they said, why don't you just wrap it in the cover? Such a good idea. I didn't even think of that. Hi, Kay from Florida. I'm so lucky to be watching from Florida. So this is the little gum holder. So receiving these for commenting. So every time you put a comment on, you get entered into a drawing to win my prizes or to win the cards that I make the week before. And receiving these, and I have to look back here to see what number it was lucky number 38. And this is going to be going to North Dakota to Julie Grassel. So Julie, I will get this out in the mail to you maybe yet today because I have the envelope and everything ready to go. All right, then for sharing. So I see that Shanna just put that she shared. A couple of other people, Sarah put that she shared. If you share this either in an email or on social media that you have, or send it to a message to a friend, I also put you into a drawing to win different things. And receiving a pack. Now, these do not even go live to all of you until March 5th. Only demonstrators can get these right now. These are the Adhesive Back Shiny Sequins. And I ordered 2 packs because that's how many I could order. I'm using one and I'm giving one away as a prize. So for sharing last week, it goes to number 11. Sarah New, going to Minnesota. So Sarah, I will get these off in the mail to you, hopefully today. And then for placing an order. So anytime you place an order, and I do have a new host code. Let me get to that here. There it is. My host code has changed because I had to submit an order. And Stampin' Up! Announced this week that there are going to be some huge changes with ordering coming up down the road. I had a chance yesterday to look at it as I was laying on my couch. I was watching some videos and stuff, but host codes are going to be going away, not for probably another year. And all ordering is going to kind of be done online. But what they're doing instead, which is going to be great for all of you, is they're going to start the threshold for which you earn rewards is going to be a lot smaller. So you're going to be getting those rewards instead of me. And so I'll be getting some based on how much people have ordered from me. But you won't have to have, like right now, in order to get host rewards, it has to be over $150. Now it's going to be, I think it's 20 or 25. You will start earning a percentage. And you can carry them over because like if you have a $20 order, 10% of $20 is $2. There's nothing in the catalog for $2. So you can opt not to use them and it'll keep in your account and you can keep accumulating them so that then you can use them at a different time. Hello, Aunt Mary. Thank you for joining me. So that's sort of exciting for all of you. I got to figure out what I'm going to do for like my prizes and stuff like that. But it's great for all of you. Anyhow, receiving for placing an order, and it is number 4 going to Sherwood, Wisconsin. Denise Umlauf, you are going to be getting the Jungle Pals along with the dies to cut those out. And the dies, these are both Celebration products that I was able to get another copy. The dies have like this tree and the leaves and the flowers. And I'm going to send this card with you, Denise, as well. I know you have students in your class. Now, if you have this already, please let me know. Let me know right away because I won't send it in the mail to you today. But I thought with being a teacher, this might be a great thing for you. So I'll send that card so you have a sample as well. So that's it for prizes. I think it is time to get stamping. How about if we get stamping? So let's see here. I have to do this and slide that over and then make that my big screen. And I have to go turn off my overhead light. And we're going to turn one more light on. Let's see. There it is. All right. I think we're good. We're a little bit crooked. I think I might have knocked my camera a little bit. There we go. I think that's a little bit straighter for you. Still seems a little crooked. Okay. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and get stamping. All right. Both of our cards today are fun folds. I'm going to take my host code off of here. Our first card that we're going to make is going to be featuring, I gotta get the glare off of there, filled with happiness. This has the modern oval punch, which is unavailable for a couple of weeks yet. There's a lot of things that have been unavailable lately. The biggest thing that's killing me right now is paper. Pretty Peacock is unorderable, and they don't have a date down for when it's going to be coming back. And my upline, Kelly, was completely out and she needed it for a class. So she was beg, borrowing, and stealing. No, she didn't steal. She will pay me back. But I gave her all of the Pretty Peacock that I had except for my scraps. So I have no Pretty Peacock, which is probably one of my favorite colors until it's available again. All right, so this filled with happiness. What's cool about this is that the modern oval punch for these two bigger stamps punches out just the center part. So you can interchange and you could put this, you could put the, well, you wouldn't want to put the thanks in there, but you could put the oranges in with the happy birthday. You could put the bird in with the it's a good day to have a good day. These will be sideways, of course. This one's up and down. You can also cut things out of it to change different colors. So it's a really cool stamp set that goes along with something that we already had. So this modern oval punch cut out those watermelons. It cut out these labels or these greetings, and we had it in the fall catalog as well. So I'm going to set that aside, and I have to get my stuff up here. All right, so for our card today, last week of using Flight and Airy, so I had to use it. So we're going to be using this bird set. And I got this idea from Susan Campfield. I get a lot of ideas from her this fold. She combined what we did last week with having like cut the designer paper out and kind of have it the second card that we made, kind of like that. And then also what Karen had done here with taking a pattern and cutting it apart and making a scene out of it. I think she called it a pull-out scene card or something like that. So I'm not exactly, I can't remember what the name is that she gave it, but we're going to make it today. So our card base is going to be soft seafoam, which I will admit is not a color that I use all that often. It's a light green, and yeah, it does look like green. I was going to say it kind of looks yellow on my screen, but on my YouTube channel, it looks a little bit more green. So this measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 1.5, and I scored it at 4.25. And again, I'm going to fold it back like we did last week. I'm going to give this a good burnish. And I'm going to give this a good burnish. All right, so it kind of looks like that one that we had. That was our, I think it was our first card that we made last week. No, second card. It kind of looks like this, where we put a strip here, we put a strip here, we put a strip here. We're going to be doing that, but we're putting the designer paper somewhere different today. All right, then we have a piece of designer series paper that measures 5 1/4 by 6. So if you have 6 by 6 paper, you can use this for that. So it's 6 inches and this is 5 1/4. And you want the 6 inches if you have a pattern that goes in a direction, you're going to want it to go this way. If your pattern that you have on the front doesn't go in a direction, but the back pattern goes in a different direction, you are going to see the back. So then you are going to want to make sure that you have it cut so that this is going in the correct direction as well. All right, we are going to cut our paper at 2 3/4. And it has to be cut in this order. So it's going to be, the first one's going to be at 2 3/4, and then 1 1/8. And then this is going to be our third strip. And I should look to see what that is. That's 2 1/8 is the last one. Okay, so I'm going to keep these in the order that they are. Get my trimmer out of here. I just wanted to show you how I did that. Okay, then we are going to have 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. Okay, this is a white piece. That's going to be for us to write in our card. Good morning, Gian. Thanks for joining me. Good morning, Michelle. I think you jumped on since I said, ooh, from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I hope you're having better weather than my friend Debbie had. She was there and the sun came out the last day that they were there. It was rainy and cloudy, I think, the whole time that they were there. So I hope you're having better weather than she did. Anyhow, we also have a piece. This is boho blue, and this measures 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. I have some of the designer paper that's going to be for our envelope. And, oh, I don't think I measured this. I didn't put this measurement on here. Well, let's look. That's why I have this nice little glass mat. This measures 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. So 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. All right, I'm going to take those off so I can go back to comments. And we're going to bring in, I'm going to bring in my big shot here, my little one. Not my big guy, but my little guy. And we are going to, what did I do with the die? I had everything out, I thought. I was so prepared. Let's see here. Everyday details. Okay, the dies that come in this everyday detail, they have this one that looks like this. And somebody had asked me, what does that do? So I decided to use it today to show you what it does. So I'm going to use just my little. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little stitched border along the side of this paper. And I have to get my plates here, which I covered with my paper trimmer. I got too much going on here today. Sometimes I like to just show you how things work, because otherwise, why would you purchase it, right? So I'm going to go ahead. I want it close to the side so that you're still going to be able to see it. And you do want to make sure this is straight or it'll look really, really crooked on your card. There we go. It moved just a tad when I put that top plate on, so I wanted to readjust it a little bit. Okay. This is this where you get to see the cool thing. Look at that. Isn't that cool little stitching? And we're going to have this green behind it. So that's going to kind of shine through. Isn't that cool? And I could really put a different color if I even wanted to highlight another color. Oh, beautiful weather. You just got there yesterday. Oh, good. I'm glad you're having nice weather because I don't know how long she was there, but I know she made a comment that the sun finally decided to come out on our last day when we're leaving. I'm like, oh, that would be awful to pay that kind of money to go on vacation and you want to get away and you want it to be warm. And then meanwhile, it's 60 degrees back here in Appleton while you're gone. And the sun was out almost all week. So anyhow, okay, so we're ready to I'm going to do some stamping. Gotta focus here. All right, so here's my piece that I'm going to stamp on. I'm going to use the boho blue that's in there. And I'm using this stamp that has this bird on it and says happy birthday. It looks like there's still ink on it, but I used a bright color and it's just stained is what it is. To help you with that, I always forget that you need to use a softer color like petal pink or something before you use, look at this I've got. Here, let me do this. Move this over. I just want to cover up those lights. There we go. And I'm going to stamp this a little bit close to the bottom. And the ladies who are in my stamp club were using a different pattern of this paper and different colors, but we're doing something similar in one of the cards that I had for my stamp club. Okay, so there it says, happy birthday. May it be filled with happiness. All right. What I want to do is I don't want this bird that's in the center. I like it and all, but I just thought it would be cool to have a bird that looked like the rest of the paper that we have. So I'm going to take some of the designer paper and I'm going to put one of those birds kind of in the center. And we're just going to replace that with that designer paper. Doesn't that look better? I think it does. All right, I'm going to set that aside, put this away. And now we're ready to really put our card together. So we have our base here. This 2 3/4 inch is going to go like that. And we're going to put it so that there's an even edge on all of the sides. So it's going to line up with, even though this is folded, it's going to line up. So remember when I said you have to make sure that the back side also is in the correct order? It's because you are going to see a little bit of the back when you go ahead and pull this open. Okay, so this is going to go right there. So I'm going to grab my liquid glue and I'm actually going to put my glue on the green piece, on the seafoam piece, because that way I won't go over too far on the back of here. Okay, so I'm laying that down and trying to get an even edge around all of the sides. Then I'm going to open this up and my next strip in my pattern. So see how I'm taking that kind of like how Karen did and I cut them apart and I'm just going to leave a little bit of a space. I'm going to keep an even distance around each of those. So this edge, that edge, and so forth. And I'm going to glue that down. So it helps to have it laying flat to be able to line it up and to get that even edge. And then the last piece of our scene is going to go right here. All right, so that we have kind of like how Karen did where she had them all cut apart, but they all formed a scene. That's what we're doing. Hey, Kelly. We're just on our first card because I talked a little bit more before at the beginning. I don't really like to do that usually. There's just a lot going on this week. Hello, Kathy. All right, so that's going to go there. And then we need a little piece that we can write on. So I'm going to butt that right up to there so that I have a piece to write a greeting on. Now you could make this an entire 4 by 5 1/4 and you could put this over that end part, but either way works. Okay, that blue piece that we die cut, not die cut, but we cut the X's out of, which I can't find. It has to be here. I have so many. Let me see. Wonder when underneath here. There it is. Okay. That is going to come in here so that that little pattern that we die cut is going to be along the outside so that we can actually see it. So I'm going to put glue here. I'm going to put some little dots kind of in the center of those diamonds. And then the same thing along the side so that it stays down. And I find it easier sometimes to go landscape to get this on so that it's even. Okay. And we'll pull our card back. So that's how that looks. Isn't that cool how that little design works? And then we open it up and we see our whole pattern and we can put our greeting there. This, whoops, we're going to pop this guy up on some dimensionals. Let me grab those. Probably more dimensionals than I need, but I want it to be even. Yeah, Jan, I love this DSP. I thought about using the nest that is in the Everyday Details stamp set. I thought about using that little nest, but it was a little too big for this opening. So I decided let's just put one of the birds and just highlight it in the center. Right, I'm going to put this on dimensionals as well, and I'm going to kind of center it from this side, the right side, and the left side. So I'm going to put my dimensionals on here because I don't want to go too far and get it onto the blue. And then I'm going to put them on the far right side, and then to try to get them in the center a little bit and put them there. I use a lot of dimensionals because, like I said, I want it to be even so that when it goes through anything at the post office, it's not like it's uneven, that everything's kind of even. All right. I'll pop that down there. Oh, loving that, right? Now, there is some yellow in here. So do we want a lemon lolly bow? Or do we want the white sheer with the silver edging? Which bow do you want? Which ribbon do you want me to use on this? While you're giving me a vote, whether it be the sheer white or the yellow, the lemon lolly, I'm going to add some of that paper to our envelope flap here. And you can give a vote as to which, I won't tell you which one I used when I made mine. Oh, hi, Kay. Thank you. I love making my videos. So there we go. It's a win-win, right? You love watching them and I love making them. I love spending my mornings with you on Saturday and sharing something that I have I love stamping. So I love sharing it. Okay, so there's that. Lemon, 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 lemon. Okay, we don't have anyone that said white. Guess which one I picked? I picked white when I did it. So you'll be able to see both, right? Okay, so we've got this lemon lolly and it has like a little bit of a silvery edge to it. And I do have my bow maker here. Actually, you know, I think I can make a bow with this ribbon. It's pretty easy. We're gonna wing it. And if I need my bow maker, I at least know I have it handy. Look at that. There's certain ribbons that I need it with, but okay, so there's our lemon lolly, which kind of matches the little yellow that's going on in his belly there. This one has to be a little bit shorter. There we go. And I left a little bit of space up here to pop that kind of up there. Probably should have stamped it down just a little bit lower. Make that bow a little bit bigger. Make this one a little smaller. There we go. Make it a little smaller. And we'll trim these up just a little bit more so that we don't hide all of our happy birthday there. There we go. So happy birthday. May it be filled with happiness. There's a place for us to write because it says like, may it be filled with happiness on the outside. You could just write your little message there. And we could add, I didn't add any bling to this one because I felt like it had enough going on it already. Oh, Amanda, tax returns. I sent all my tax stuff in. My mom took it with her. She came on Monday and she washed all my stamps from my card buffet, which was, oh my gosh, it saved me. She was probably here over an hour, I would guess, just doing that. And I got mine done over the weekend and she took it to send it in on Tuesday because there was no mail on Monday. Okay, so here's the one with the white ribbon. So you can see if you like that or if you like the yellow better. I kind of like the yellow better. But that is our first card. I do have a couple of other samples with that fun fold. So this is using that Wonderfully Made, Gorgeously Made was the name of the stamp set. But here I used, instead of cutting that stitch thing out, I ended up using some an embossed piece of paper. And then when you open it up, it looks like that. So that's another sample. And then I thought, what a perfect layout for when you have this paper that creates a scene. So again, I embossed some paper here. So this is some, I think that is Balmy Blue. And then we have Orchid Oasis, which is going away soon. But look at that. When you open it up, you get the whole sheet of that pretty design. So when you have this designer paper like this that creates this scene and you're like, oh, which part of it am I going to cut for my card and all that kind of stuff? Here you can use the entire 6 inches and just decide if you want to cut a little. I cut a little bit off the bottom, or if you want to cut a little bit off the top. But there, and then it has some of those little birds and dragonflies on the front of it. But here I just heat embossed right on the paper. Super easy card. The only thing that you needed the die cutting machine for would be to emboss that. But you could also use a piece of like this paper that's on the back, something that matched with this, and place it there. So I thought, since I had the time last night, because I had everything done, I would make a few more samples for you so you could see a few more using that same layout. And I have the same thing for the next fun fold as well. I have a couple of extra samples. So, oh, thank you very much, Kathy. I had fun using this fun fold. And again, I got it from Susan Campfield. So if you wanted to get some other ideas, if you go to YouTube and you do a search for Susan Camp, Campfield. She does a little play on her words and she says Stampfield. But you can see other samples with the same layout. All right, let me go ahead and get my supplies for the next one. For the next one, I know we just started Lent, but I'm using the Easter lilies. I got this stamp set early on in when the catalog came out, and I haven't used it yet. And so I wanted to play with it. So these images are actually much bigger than they are on the case because they wouldn't be able to fit them. So these are reduced sizes. it has, and I have them out because I made another card. I used the dies. So it has dies where you can build a lily. And I decided to do that one because anyone can stamp and cut out from the die cut and put stuff together. But sometimes using these pieces like this, it's harder to figure out how to, yeah, Sandy, I love that paper too. How to go ahead and use these. So I cut out, I used this die and these two and this one and the two leaves and the one that I'm doing for you today. It has a He is Risen piece I give unto you. And I'm actually going to use a greeting as well from the celebration, the Happy Hellos. So this card, I already, with my envelope, I ended up, I'm going to get all the pieces out. I ended up taking my embossing folder and I embossed the edge of it to go along with some embossing that I'm doing on the card. Okay, so that is the card, the envelope. I'll set that off to the side. I have to get back to my banners. Let's see here. Nope. That's my brand banners. There's a lot going on this thing. Okay. So to see where I'm at here. Here we go. This is the one. All right. So our card base is Lemon Lolly. And this measures 5 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I scored it at 4 1/4. So there's just this little 1-inch piece that's over the top. And I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder to give that a good burnish because I haven't done that yet. Okay, so that's our Lemon Lolly. Then we have another piece of Lemon Lolly that is 4 inches by 4 inches. Okay, so that's going to kind of go in here to make the rest of our card front. All right, I have some basic white that measures 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to be for this inside part of our card. And then I have another piece of basic white that measures 3 1/8 by 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 by 3 1/8. And I ran this through an embossing folder, the distressed tiled embossing folder. And you know what? I think that was supposed to be 3 and not 3 1/8. But let me see here. Nope, it's supposed to be 3 1/8. Okay, good. I thought I messed it up. All right. And I think I forgot to put this one on here. This measures 3/4 by 5 1/4. And I ran that through the embossing folder as well. All right. I also, from the Everyday Details, I'm loving that set. I'm really hoping that those dies carry over. Even if the stamp set doesn't, I hope that the dies will carry over. One of these circles that has the little holes, that's going to have our greeting on it. And like I mentioned, I cut out each of those pieces. And this leaf right here, I cut out twice. And I did only one of these. And then the little stamen part, I cut out in the Lemon Lolly. So we're going to do a white lily so that it does kind of look like the Easter lilies. I saw a lot of them that used Flirty Flamingo that had some pink. I even saw one that used more of a Calypso coral and made it more like a tiger lily. My tiger lilies are behind my house are always so big in the summer. But I decided this is going to be an Easter card. And so I decided to leave it like this. All right. I'm going to be using some Lemon Lolly and some Lemon Lime Twist. I wanted a lighter green. And I'm going to show you my progression on this card. Like I made a version of it and I'm like, something's missing. I've got to do something different. So then I remade it. And so I'm going to show you the first version and my thought process of how I got to where I am with this right now. So these are the parts that are going to make my lily. So I'm going to start with some Lemon Lolly ink, and I'm basically just going to be putting this yellow in the center area. And I'm going to lightly, when it's off, I'm going to bring it up just a tad bit into, and that's really kind of bright, but that one gets covered a little more because that's going to go over the top of it. So now, if you do this glass mat, if you decide to join Stampin' Up! With that awesome deal and get the glass mat, you can actually like rub off your thing right in here. The only reason I have this paper on here right now is because I get so much glare from my lights that I have overhead. And I know you can put vellum down to take care of that. But then I'm always worried about where the vellum is and everything else. So I just decided I'm just going to put a piece of paper over the top of it. And it does come with a little chamois. I put my chamois in here, and you can just take this out and wipe it off. And just like that, the mess, instead of having it on here and possibly getting it in something else, you can just automatically wash it right away if you use the glass plate. So that deal is only good through the end of this week, where you can get this if you join. I'm also going to add a little bit, and if you don't like a glass plate, they also have an extra $30 that you can add to your join kit, which is a really good deal because you get, I'm going to hide this and get back to your comments again. You can actually, for $99, you can get $155 worth of product, and you get free shipping on that as well. You do have to pay tax on it, but you get free shipping. Next, I'm going to take in my leaves, and I'm going to kind of look to see. I used them this way and this way and this way. Yeah. So I want the ends of them, the ones that are going to be hidden, I want it to be darker and get lighter. So it's going to be darker at the base. And then as I go along, it's going to get lighter. So it's darker down here. Anyone have any big plans for today? It was like all week, it was unnormally high temperatures. Lila got a pretty nice walk-in every day, even though I wasn't feeling real well. She pretty much got a walk-in. Thursday she didn't, and that was the nicest day. Then it was snowing yesterday for a while. And now today we were out there, and it doesn't seem as cold as it was yesterday, but I wasn't out much yesterday. Just saw the snow from inside my house. She didn't get a walk yesterday, but today we're going to have to get one since I'm feeling better. Okay, so that's all we're going to do with the ink. Let's see. Let's go ahead and stamp our greeting already. I'm going to set those up there. I'm going to close this. I thought that black might be a little bit like, whoo, in your face. So I decided I was going to use pecan pie as in like a brownish color for my greeting. I thought it went with the colors really well. And this is from the Happy Hellos. It says, thinking of you this Easter. There's also a He is Risen, which didn't quite fit in this little circle. And I did stamp it up a little bit higher because the lily's going to come onto part of the bottom portion. And I think on the inside, I'm going to use the Peace I Give Unto You. We're just going to stamp ours right in the center. Okay, we are ready to build our lily and put our card together. So this layer right here is going to go on the inside. And again, I'll show you a little my thought progression, like the first card that I made, and then I'll tell you why I changed things up, what I didn't like about it. It's not that I didn't like it. I was like, there's something missing. I'm not quite sure what's missing. And then I tried a couple of things, and then I figured out what was missing. So then I kind of made that in the second card. supposed to be 48 here in Eastern North Dakota, but really yeah, I think we're supposed to be getting some windy stuff too, Julie. Oh, you just ordered this, Kay? I ordered it a while ago. I just hadn't used it yet because it was hard to think of Easter when you had Valentine's Day that you had and all of that kind of stuff. Oregon is going to be 65 degrees today. Oh, awesome. Julie has to do housework. Yeah, I do too. I have to get some stuff cleaned. All right, so what we're going to do with this piece is we're going to line this up along the bottom, and we're going to try to have an even amount on either side. Flip that underneath. And what we're going to do is we're just going to add some glue along the top of the little 4x4-inch piece. And then we're going to close this down once it's even. Give that a really good press until it sticks. Now you could use some tear and tape or something that is a little bit stronger, but the glue is really strong. It just has to, it just kind of has to dry, basically. Okay, so that's what our fold is going to look like. It's going to open like that. And then we're going to set this piece right in here. And because it has that embossing on it, I add just a little bit more glue, and I make sure I have glue around each of the edges so that it doesn't pull up. Yeah, Amanda, going to be organizing your craft room. Yes. And you have a nice, probably supply of things that you have to add. Amanda just joined my team. I'm so excited to have her on my team. And she got a lot of free products with, or not free, but a lot of products for that introductory price. Okay. So I was trying to look at, so where it is in the catalog, let me show you. I have my catalog sitting right here. So when I looked at the catalog, there's only 2 samples, right? One using the die cut, one using that. And then if you look back in the directory or the kind of like this index, they have, again, where they cut it out. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and it looks like the one with the 3 parts, the 3 petals, is on the top of the one with the 2. So that's how I did it. So I did my 2 first. So I'm going to put some glue on this little circle here because I noticed that both of them have the same little nubby circle here. Oh, and you know what? I forgot to do something, but I can do it once they're connected. Okay, so I'm going to connect those 2 like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bone folder. I'm just going to lightly curl each of these petals a little bit to make it look a little bit more real. Okay. And then the next thing that comes on is our stamen, and I'm going to add a little wink of Stella to that before I put it in there. And I don't know if you can see that shine, but there's definitely some shine on there. Okay, and I'm going to take a glue dot and put that stamen in the center of my lily. And then this piece is going to go right there to make our lily. So I'm going to actually just add a little bit of liquid glue. On my first sample, I put this on a dimensional, and then on the second one, I used liquid glue. So I think you could use either because I couldn't really tell from the picture in the catalog if it was liquid glue or if it was a dimensional. It kind of looked like a dimensional. All right, then I'm going to take one of these And this is going to kind of pop in here. See why I wanted it a little bit darker on the inside? Now these are going to go like right here. So I've got to make sure that I keep them. Actually, I think I'm going to do it this way a little bit more. Okay, so I have to make sure that I'm keeping them so that they don't go off the edge. So I'm kind of looking at that, dry fitting it a little bit. I'm putting the glue dot right on this edge here. And we'll go about right. Actually, I think I'm going to have this one go down a little bit. All right, that one there. And then this one I'm going to have come up. That one can come up a little bit higher because it has more room. It can go over the top of this, no problem. So like that. And then I'm going to have one more over here. And then our greeting is going to pop right inside of there. Okay, so that was my thought on this after I played around with it for a really, really long time. Oh, and you know what? These I kind of went like this, and then I came back with the tip and did it the opposite way. So I went like this, and then I reversed it to have the tip kind of go the other way, so it kind of looks like a real, there's going in a couple of different directions. All right, we're going to put that about right there, and that's going to come off just a little bit, and that's going to go there. All right, so we're going to put this up on dimensionals, and I purposely placed my dimensionals where the petals kind of all came together so that it was reinforcing them a little bit. So where my leaves met my petals and so forth. And I'm going to put a little bit there and one there. Oh, thank you. I think SKM. Is that Sarah Marquardt maybe? I don't know. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Patty. All right, so this is going to go in here like, make sure I have these where I want them. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this up on some dimensionals as well. Okay, and then we've got to add a few bling, right? So I used lemon lime twist. So I have this really thin lemon lime twist ribbon. It comes in a combo pack along with some petal pink thin ribbon. Ooh, and I have way more ribbon here than I need. Oh well, give this a little bit longer pull. My petals or my leaf, this is up a little bit higher than it was on my samples. So we're gonna, there we go. Put this off to the side just a little bit to counterbalance the greeting. If I can get this straight. Concentrating so much on tying my bow. Sorry, I'm not talking. Making sure that I get that nice and tight. I could use a reverse tweezers. Oh my gosh, look at how much I have left over. I cut that way longer than I needed. Okay. And then I'm just going to pop a little glue dot behind that knot. I could use my take your pick tool, but I'm just going to use my scissors. I'm going to roll it in a little ball and stick it right underneath that dot or that knot. Just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to use some of our iridescent pearls, and I'm going to take our Granny Apple Green, or Lemon Lime Twist, sorry, and this is a light Lemon Lime Twist, and I'm just going to color a couple of them. I'm going to do 2 of the bigger ones because these are, the tiny ones are really tiny, so I'm going to color 3 of them, and I'm going to put one Oh, thanks, Aunt Mary. Yeah, I love soft pastel-y colors for Easter. And we'll throw one in up there, and then the little one we'll place in there. Okay, so we've just got a few pearls in there. We've got a ribbon. Thinking of you this Easter, peace I give unto you. Isn't that pretty? I just loved how it ended up turning out. And when I first did the first one, I'm like, there's something missing. So this was my first one. Okay, so what did I do different? I cut this out in the soft seafoam. I didn't emboss down here. I used a white ribbon instead of using the white paper with the lemon lime twist. And I didn't really have room left to put a greeting, so I just did the He is Risen and I cut it out on the side. So that was my first attempt. And I was like, there's just something missing yet. So that's when I decided to add the embossing. And I decided that I needed some white up here. And I decided to do the white, but I didn't want to do lemon lime twist. I felt like that was too bright. So I decided instead to cut those out in white and ink them with the lemon lime twist so that I could control how dark the color of the lemon lime twist was. And I decided to put the greeting. I actually, when I did mine, I did peace I give unto you out here, and then the thinking of you at Easter on the inside. So you could do either one. But I liked how the changes that I made. I thought this one, it looks okay. I'm not saying that it's a bad card at all. But I just felt like it was missing something. I didn't like how this was white and this was white. I felt like it needed something. So by embossing that, it gave a little more contrast between the inside and that front part. And then I thought putting the white and then adding the green, bringing that green color in, added to that. Okay, so those are the ones that I did. Then I was messing around and I wanted to do one the other way. So this is when I still had this one. And then once I made this one, I'm like, you know what? This would look really a lot better if I were to emboss that. And this one, I took that lemon lolly ribbon that we used and I used a dark daffodil delight Stampin' Blend marker to go over it to make it a darker color to go with the daffodil rather than the lemon lolly. This one probably needs some gems. It was just like, I should do one that goes the opposite way. So this is using black embossing powder and then using a aqua painter. I think they're called aqua painters. Maybe they're not called that anymore, but I did some watercoloring for the center. And then here's this one. I love this one. So this is that new Latte Love. So this is one that's actually going to be in my card buffet in a couple weeks. Oh, next weekend. Oh my gosh, it's next weekend. I still have 6 cards to design. So this is a fun little thank you card using, and I used last time that I showed you some of the products. I didn't have these out. They were still in my box. I missed them because they're kind of small, but they have 3 different shades. So this is kind of like a pecan pie. There's like some calypso coral that kind of goes with, and then the crumb cake and with a little bit of all of them have a little bit of early espresso, I guess, in them. Okay, so I thought that was kind of fun to use that. So, oh, thanks, Kay. I love it when people say that they want to case something that I've done. I love this fold. I did this fold a really long time ago, and I thought, well, I'm gonna see what I can do. And so last night I was messing around. This is actually a new embossing folder that's going to be in the online exclusive starting on March 5th, along with this paper. And this stamp set that this Thanks So Much came from. So this is paper that I cut out. I didn't stamp all of that. So that's paper and this is paper. So here I added a little bit different by putting the paper along the side, and I pulled out the Lost Lagoon from that little cup for my ribbon on the top. Now the ribbon that comes with this is this white polka dot. This is kind of like burlap. I'm not going to lie to you. This does not make a really nice bow. It's very, very stiff, like burlap is kind of stiff. And so this would be used more if you were just going to put like tape it somewhere on the back or tie a knot. And it doesn't have the polka dots on the back of it. So, I mean, you could maybe add it underneath this little strip right here to add a little bit of something. But it definitely wasn't going to go around the top and tie a nice little bow, because it's not going to tie a nice bow. It's kind of thick, or it's kind of stiff. All right. So we have this card that we made today, and we have our envelope that I embossed ahead of time, the back. So we've got this one, and we have our birthday one using that label. So we've got this fun fold that goes like that, and this fun fold that just flips up like that. All right, let's see here. How do I get back to you? This, and this. Okay. So that is it for today. Oh, thanks, Linda. I try to do that when I can. Sometimes time just gets away from me and I can't show you other designs using the same fun fold. But when I can, and I had a little bit of time yesterday, it was great for me because this is actually going to be one of the cards. This Easter one is actually going to be one of the cards that I have in my card buffet. And so is this latte one. Whoops, I'm not on there anymore. This latte one. So it helped me because now I was able to create some cards that I'm actually going to be offering some of my customers to be able to make. And that way I'm not, I don't, sometimes I work harder instead of smarter. So I'm trying to work smarter. All right. Next week, like I said, God willing, I will be having a card buffet in the morning. And so I will not be live in the morning. It'll be more like 12:30 in the afternoon again. And I apologize that this is happening so quickly. Also, my plans for Florida are a little bit up in the air. And so if I don't end up going to Florida, I will be with you then the week after. Otherwise, I was originally planning to go to Florida. So, anyway, I will keep you posted. I will know by next Saturday if I'm going to Florida or not. It's been so nice here. It's like, why would you even have to go to Florida, right? So anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for your great comments that encourage me. I hope that you find some time this weekend to be creative. I will try my hardest to get the dimensions up on my blog. But remember, you can always go back and watch this video again. And all of the dimensions are on the screen for you to be able to write down. But I will try to get them up on my blog and get them into a document for you to be able to download and save. I do have to get those 6 cards done first. So that's my number one priority. So I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you again for joining me. I will see you next weekend at 12:30 on this same channel, God willing. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.